Welcome to Liquid Courage, candid conversations that give you an inside look into Canada's entertainment industry. I'm your host, Amanda Pereira. Every episode, I sit down with ridiculously talented folks from right here in Canada. And with some liquid courage, I ask the questions we're all dying to know. From career wins to total faceplants, hilarious missteps to surprising breakthroughs, and behind-the-scenes tips you can actually use. These chats remind us we're all just figuring it out. So why not do it together? Today, I sit down with Clara Altimas as we sip on some Zevia cream soda and root beer together. Clara is a writer, director, and producer originally from Montreal, now based between Toronto and Los Angeles. She serves as showrunner, executive producer, and director on Crave's The Office Movers, created by Jay and Trey Richards, and is now working on season 3 of the series. Before that, she worked as a writer, producer, and director on CBC's Strays and Kim's Convenience. In addition to her television work, Clara has written and directed a ton of short films and is currently in development on her first feature film, a process she describes as ongoing, possibly forever. Clara has also taken part in several major industry development programs, including the Canadian Film Centre's Writers Lab and the Reykjavik International Film Festival's Talent Lab. Before all of that, Clara started out as an actor, training in Meisner with the late Jacqueline McClintock, studying scene study and script analysis with Larry Moss, and performing improv at UCB in Los Angeles and Toronto's Second City. Clara credits her love of story and character to her extensive training as an actor and brings those experiences into her writing and directing work. If during this conversation you hear something referenced, like a TV show or a podcast that we say is amazing and you want to check it out, don't worry, I got you covered. Check the episode description and I've linked everything there for you. Hi, Clara. Thanks for being here today. Hello.
Thank you.
So happy you're here. For people listening, we logged on and we are wearing the same sort of color scheme, which made me feel like connected to you right away.
Just
Very
like
cute.
a winter color scheme, you know?
Yeah,
Dark
just a
blues,
little
plaids.
Purples, yellow. I don't have any yellow, but I like the yellow in yours.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
The light. Yeah.
Love it. I also love that you chose cream soda. Like, come on.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. Like,
on.
did you get,
Tell me.
So I went to the store today and they only had my creamy root beer. So I am like, look, it's my second fave, but I was like, I can't believe I'm not even going to get my Zevia cream soda.
Well, I mean, I feel like for sure I've had this before because when you said it, I was like, oh, nostalgia out the wahoo. I've never said that before, but But then I realized usually I drink it from the can, and today, no idea why, I poured it out into a glass and was like, oh, it's not pink.
No.
I didn't realize that.
No, it's
so I
just
put
like
it in a pink glass
nothing,
because
right?
I couldn't.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, it's clear. So
and no ice.
I'm not
Good for you.
drinking. I did think about it, and then I was like, I don't know Clara enough to know if it is rude to dilute her favorite drink.
You know what?
So I didn't.
You shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did. I want the pure thing here. Yeah. So if you see me drinking from this glass, it's not water. It is the cream soda in a pink glass.
And I'm drinking their creamy root beer. And look, I can't say enough good things about this brand. Okay.
Oh my God, it matches your nails. Okay, like brand deal. Hey. I also love a root beer, so I don't mind at all. Don't mind at all.
Good. Sugar-free.
So good. I know, it's kind of nice. I feel like that this is one of those things like in your genes, like when people like cilantro or hate it, I feel like I can taste stevia. And some people, like my dad's like, I don't taste it at all.
Yeah.
Do you taste stevia?
I do. Yeah.
So is this the interview question that you were anticipating when you came
I didn't want to talk about this, but yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to move on quickly. Cut this from the episode.
I do taste it. My mom is really big into like baking with no sugar. She's always telling me like she uses monk fruit and stevia and I'm like, yeah, I know. I can absolutely taste it. It's gross.
It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise.
But yeah, I'm happy that it exists and it's a good option.
It is. It's great. And I mean, the cream soda flavor is strong enough. I'm not like, it's not. Yeah. It's great. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to start off by quoting your own bio to you because it stuck out to me, made me laugh. I know. Did you ever think that was going to happen? And also it's like a nightmare question for me to be asked because I hate writing bios. However,
nightmare.
In your bio, it says before being a writer and director. You were, quote, an actor who never booked anything. And I just thought that was so funny and also a very relatable feeling. I'm like, oh. So I'm curious though, like what initially made you want to be an actor?
I was like at an arts high school. So that was the first kind of step in the right direction. And I definitely like lean towards, as far as like the arts programs, like theater was the one that I was like most drawn to. We had like I had an amazing English teacher who was also he was also connected with the drama department. And so like it was a very easy kind of like shift to make over there. And then it was also just a matter of like, you know, your friends are all doing theater. Like, and so, and like, we all hated band, but we're all like down to stay late and make sets and be, you know, rehearsing like these plays we shouldn't be doing as 13-year-olds.
Oh my God. Right. Yeah.
The first play I did in high school was called More Light. And it's about all these concubines being buried with their emperor.
Wait,
and then like,
and what grade was this?
Grade 9. That's in Montreal, so I will say that.
Okay. We're gonna write about that. Wow,
yeah,
what subject
crazy.
matter for grade 9?
Yeah, literally, we're talking about eating his member. Okay, like to survive. I'm just like, sorry, what?
And what are you supposed to like? You're learning like how to create a character and get into the like. In what am I pulling
backstory,
on?
All of that
backstory, like how? What am I emotionally referencing when I'm like, okay, now to survive, I'm eating his member.
Yeah, what's that for you as a 14-year-old?
Truly. Also, what a word choice, his member.
I know. True. Like, I mean, it was helpful because I guarantee none of us knew what it meant. Like,
oh no,
you know, we're just like, oh, okay, and nobody wants to ask. And like, but yeah, that was an insane, like thinking back on it, just an insane play to invite your parents to too. Like, it's just like,
oh yeah.
But that was our school. Like we had, and I say that with like just the, like if I had kids, I would send them there. Like it was an incredible high school and an incredible like theater program. And there was so much like encouragement to just like do your own thing and like, and be creative and put on your own plays, like as an extracurricular thing. And so that was like where I really fell in love with it. And then from there, a bunch of my friends were also going into theater school. And so that was sort of like a clear path, like where you're just like, oh, I want to be with my friends. I like this and I want to keep doing it. So that was sort of how it started. And then it just kept going with you know, independent like acting classes. I've met so many of my close friends who are still my closest friends, like in acting classes. I studied with an amazing teacher named Jacqueline McClintock, who's since passed, but she was like a Meisner teacher in Montreal. And like a bunch of us met in that class, and it was just the most like incredible environment. Like no shade to theater school, but like the acting I saw in that class, I was just like, this is on another level. Like the people I met there and what I saw like in the scene work, I was just like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. And that was like the real like click in moment where I was like, this is what I want to do. Also being like, I mean, that was the click in moment. And the other click in moment was watching Jennifer Garner in Alias and being like, that's who I'm going to be.
Yeah.
That's 100%. My career.
Hey, anyone see this? It's a mirror.
Actually, yeah.
Crystal ball into the future. That will be me. Oh, I love that. So then when you like, was it a conscious decision to stop being an actor and focus on writing and directing? Or was it more of like a natural gradual
I didn't book
process?
Any work.
But then you were like, you were writing things and being in like acting in your own things. And I could see that if you like a trajectory where you continued to do that. But was it, I guess, was it a conscious, or did it feel like the decision was made for you and you're like, well, okay, everybody. Screw you a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit screw you. It was definitely like conscious in like the sense of like, it was like a mental health decision where I was like, okay, you're going to need to get yourself out of here.
You need to put that eject button.
It was just a lot of like, I mean, it's the things everyone talks about, rejection, but it was also like, I was really struggling with like the idea of like not knowing what I was doing wrong and feeling like I was doing everything I could. And I was also surrounded by people who were doing the same things and getting work. And so I just was like, something's not clicking for me. Like something's not right about this. And it just felt like the best thing I could do was to make a shift for myself and to not keep putting it on other people and putting it on like the why of the outside people making decisions. So it was just sort of like this very lucky, you know, moment of clarity of being like, I'm just going to write. I'm going to write something. And it was through an acting class, like, you know, through like an activity we did in an acting class that I sort of was inspired to like start writing this scene, and that sort of like snowballed into more scenes. And like I really came at it from a very like organic place, to use that word. Like just like I wasn't like reading Save the Cat. I wasn't like reading structure books. I was kind of just like truly letting these characters like speak and like keep speaking. That's so annoying to say, but like it just was it just was like this really like it like saved me. Like it was just like a place to go and be like so creative and feel so like inspired and like excited by what I was, you know, making and creating. And I just remember also like having this realization of like I could do it anywhere. I could like work my restaurant job and do a lunch shift and then like be on a double and like write on my break and like be like that much more excited to go back to work because I had like done this thing that was creative for me like in the in between. So it was just like it just sort of happened in a natural way, but also it definitely was a conscious moment of like a change needs to happen and it needs to be you that makes the change. And then acting in my own stuff is still something that I'm like, I did it sort of as I was like making the shift. And then I think because I was like lucky enough to like get work as a writer, I've just, you know, been so kind of busy with writing and directing and like producing that I haven't put any focus on like acting in things. So that's still something that I like really would like to do and put, you know, put an effort towards at some point. But I also like, I love being on the other side of it. And I also like love working with actors. I think like that's, you know, such a gift that acting has given me, is like to get to talk to actors and like be, you know, with them in that work that they do, which is like so fun and amazing and like difficult. Like that's so, I think that's such a great thing to have as a director, like and a writer, like to be able to write to voices and feel like I have a sense of who I'm writing for. Like I think that's really helpful.
Having like a director who has even taken like an acting class or something is just, it's so, I mean, anytime you can have experience in somebody else's shoes and then communicating how you want them to do their job, I feel like it's invaluable. Like I'm sure that comes in such handy. And like you, when I was going through your filmography, I'm like, Clara, you have written so many short films. Like,
I know.
Like so many short films, like The Wedding Song, Benson, Christmas Green, Jeremy and Margot Make a Baby. Like I could go on and on and on. And I find short films so difficult to write, like harder than pilots for me, harder than features even. And for you, like what is the key to writing a good short film?
Such a good question. I feel like having a very clear kernel of like what you want to say or a moment that you really want to explore for me is like is the like most important thing. And then like what I've learned in making short films is like the smaller the better in a lot of ways. Like don't try to say too much and be very clear about what you're saying. And like, and I say that, you know, even more so having like watched a lot of amazing short films. And that's just a personal preference thing too. Like, I just love like the simplicity of a very, you know, 2-character short film or one character, like that short film that the Duplass brothers made about like where he's like leaving. Have you seen this? Like where he's like leaving, he's re-recording his answering machine.
No.
Oh my God. you'll have to like, I can't remember the name of
find
it.
Yeah,
but
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
find it and I'll link it. Yeah.
It's Mark Duplass. And it was after like I think it was like after them trying to like make a bunch of like more complicated, like, you know, like ambitious shorts. And then they just decided to make this short where he's literally like gets home and he tries to like record a like, hi, you've reached Mark Duplass. Like, please leave a message. And he literally has like a mental breakdown, like of self-doubt, being like, I'm such a loser.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a good premise.
It's so funny and it's so true. Like, obviously that's a different thing for everyone and it's not specifically that moment, but I feel like you could relate to that thing where you're like, why am I losing my mind over like hanging a shower curtain right now?
Oh my God, yes. Or like putting my hair up in a bun that I can be in public with. Yeah. That I will absolutely lose my shit. And then I never wear a bun because I can't. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's such a great point of making it like for a short film when you're saying like a kernel or like a moment. I think that is the hardest thing, is to feel to have that and then not question that like, oh, it's not enough. I have to put more on this, or I have to tell a longer story than that.
Totally. And if you can like, evoke a feeling like that thing, like of like the relatability of like, just totally losing your shit over the smallest thing because you just are feeling that way and you're like, I'm like, it's just such a like deep, like there's so much emotion there. And I feel like it also definitely hits on, and this short film really does this so well, but it like hits on what I love the most, which is like sad comedy, like where you're just like, like the guy's crying, but you're also laughing, but you like get it. Like, it's just like, it's so, it's very human.
Yeah. Well, and something I've noticed, like sort of a thread through some of your short films, is that there's a number of them where it starts with like two people at odds in some way, and then they find this like in point that connects them and brings them together. And I'm curious if that is intentional, like maybe it's a dynamic that you're really interested in, or if that's just sort of naturally happened.
I think it is something I'm really interested in. Like, I think finding like connecting people on something that you weren't necessarily expecting them to connect over is like really something I love to like explore in writing and making, like in life. Like, because I think also, you know, like I'm just imagining, like, you know, I just like the idea of like very opposite characters connecting over something that's like, you would never see these two people ever speak. And then, but there's actually, they have so much more in common than they ever could have imagined. Like, and I think like that really like hit something for me. Like, I just think, and it's also like, I think in terms of like being a filmmaker or putting craft, like creations into the world, it's like the best thing is being able to like connect with an audience, or having like people really feel seen by what, you know, what you're saying or what you're showing. And like, I think that's the ultimate like thing that I like love exploring, is like allowing people to be seen by each other, and like for things that they don't, you know, necessarily let be seen every day, you know, to just anyone. So I think those things can sort of, there can be like this like newfound vulnerability in situations with people they're never going to see again, wouldn't usually talk to, like, so it's like, I think that's real. I don't know, that really, I do love that kind of a thing.
Oh, I love that. Even in like, I do improv, and I know you did as well, UCB. And I know in mostly beginner improv, they'll say like, don't do scenes where you're strangers, like make sure you know each other. But I just find that scenes where you are strangers to each other, and where you actually like, you don't try and proactively like write the scene in your head, like you're actually present with the other person, and you just allow yourselves to develop the scene together in a true like improvised way. It's like my favorite kind of,
it's like magic thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah. So the short film that sticks out to me so much is like Sleepaway, or also Christmas Green, where it's like these two like completely like mixed matched characters. And then, and in the beginning, you're like, oh, this is going to be like a get the fuck out of here and leave me alone. And by the end, you're like, oh my God, are these two like platonic soulmates for, like, it's just so, there's something I think cathartic in it as an audience watching, because everybody wants to connect and find people and feel seen. And so, yeah, I think it's a theme I think I'm also like definitely drawn towards in things.
I love those two that you like drew from, because I like, it's been so long since I've thought about sleepaway, but yeah, it's totally that. Just like these like characters who like there's a toughness to their exterior, or there's like an idea of who they are, want to be seen as, and then it's like, you like, I don't know, crack a little deeper.
Yeah. Well, when you said they connect over something that you wouldn't anticipate them connecting over, I thought of Sleepaway right away. Of like, and just so, so sweet. When you are approaching writing, it could be a short film or writing a pilot or whatever, writing anything. What is your process like? You sort of like hit on this earlier, and I know previously you've talked about like you like to just start writing the scene, like maybe writing a piece of dialogue or just writing something versus like hardcore outlining it. And I'm wondering where you're at these days of what your process is when you approach writing.
It's always changing. I feel like I've probably like, I feel like this is maybe like, I don't know how I feel about this answer, but I do sometimes wish I knew less. Like I wish I could go back to knowing less about structure and writing and what people like and what people don't like. Like I sometimes feel like I'm like nostalgic about the freedom that I had. That's such an annoying thing, because obviously like I am so grateful to all the things that I've learned, like all the people who have taught me and all the things like that I know now. But I'm just like, there was such a, like, now I still feel like I go about my own stuff in this sort of like way of beginning with a scene or a character or some dialogue or whatever. But that like, it's so fast that I'll be like, what am I doing? Literally, what am I doing? Who is this? What is this? Like, stop writing. like, so it's just like, so I feel like, and I do feel like I've gone the other way where I've been like, I'm going to be really, like meticulous about outlining and being like, you know, what's my inciting incident? What's my midpoint? And what, you know, what, like all of that stuff. And although it sort of made me feel like I was doing it right and I was like getting a gold star for like outlining correctly, like when I got to the draft, like it truly went out the window, because like I have this like tendency too with outlining where like, even though I'll have liked it while I was outlining, I want it to be fresh when I'm writing. So it's like, and I also feel like, again, like I do feel like the characters sort of take you where they want to go. Like, so you have an idea of like where the characters go when it's just like the scene is like, okay, they drive to the keg and have dinner. But it's like, when you're actually writing that scene of them driving to the keg, it's like, who knows? Like, do they get a flat tire? Like, is one of them just like get out of the car and walk home? Like, you know, there's things that I find you, when you're writing two characters in a scene, like things happen that I feel like the most interested in following those things and like allowing it to sort of live in a different, like in a different way than I necessarily like outlined it. But that also will ultimately get me to a place where I'm like, why didn't I just follow the outline?
You're like, I spent hours on this outline.
Where are we now? They're in a
Why
ditch.
do we have a flat tire? Yeah, exactly. Why are they living in the forest for 6 months? Like, they're supposed to go to the keg. What's going on? Yeah. And I imagine that's hard also, like in a TV writer situation and or just in a collaborative writing situation, maybe when you've outlined it as a group. And then when you're writing the episode, I imagine, but you tell me if I'm wrong, like you kind of can't change the outline, or how much can you change the outline? Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think when you're writing in a room, in a group, and like you know, whether the outline's been handed to you by another writer or whether you've like developed, you know, it's like, that is like a much more, you can't stray away from that.
You can't come back and they're like, so now they're living in the forest, and you're like, no, what the group is like, excuse me, what did you do? You're fired.
Exactly. Like it's just like, that's a much more, so like those things I feel like there's much more like you're bound by the rules in a way bigger way. But like I do think even for that, like when I was working on shows in the past, like I still find it fun to like punch up the jokes that were written in the outline. You know, like, so it's like you're saying the same thing, but is there a funnier way to say it? Is there is there like a new thing to say that like ties back to something you put in a scene earlier? Like, I find there's like ways of keeping it a little bit alive and fresh. So like, you know, and I don't do that to like, I mean, I do it a little bit to suck up, but I do it. I do it because it makes it fun. Like, I think so.
Yeah. And you're like, you know, writing to the top of your intelligence. You're like, this is a joke I find funnier and it still fits the tone and all the things. You're like, doing your job.
Like,
totally.
we're putting the other joke back because it's not good.
You're like, well, you're wrong. No.
Yeah.
So when it comes to then like writing for TV, how does somebody get started writing for TV or getting into writers' rooms? Like, are writing samples still a thing? Do you need a literary agent? How does somebody like get in there?
Writing samples, I would say, are still a thing. Okay. I think, because, and I say that like, for my experience, like, I think my writing sample is what got me into my first job. So, but I do think like, I also did have an agent. I did have a literary agent who really worked with me on that sample and really like got it to a place where, you know, he and I could both feel strongly about like putting it forward and feeling like it was like the best version of what a sample could be as far as like, you know, the kind of writer that I am. Like, so true to my voice, but also living within like the parameters of like, you know, if a writer on or a showrunner on a CBC or Bella show reads it, they're like, yeah, this like isn't so insane that we can't imagine this person writing these, you know, more like, what's the word? Like safer comedies or whatever, let's say.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, like I think, I mean, I went through the writer's lab at the Canadian Film Center. That was something that happened like after I wrote sort of my first script. And that was like an amazing, you know, program where I met like, again, so many great people. And like through that, I met this like incredible producer, Al McGee, who was like such a champion of mine. Like he just was so like, he just really like saw me and like vibed with what I was writing. And he was the one who sort of introduced me to my first agent. And that was like really because, you know, like with agents, it's tough. Like they get so many submissions and they have their clients and there's so few jobs. And like, so it really took someone being like, you got to read this person. And I was very lucky to have a person to do that for me. And like, and that was sort of like, so that was how it went for me. Like, and yeah, that agent like got me my first interview and that was Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
And that's when I started working with that team.
Yeah. And I remember, I can't remember if it was a podcast or an interview you did but you mentioned that like writing on Kim's Convenience taught you how to write for TV. And like, I'm curious, what was like the biggest learning curve for you in writing for TV specifically, like being in a writer's room and writing in that kind of way?
It was like, it was such a like incredible boot camp, for like, learning from scratch. I mean, I didn't have any sense of working in a writing room. Like I had only written shorts and features. Like I just didn't know. I mean, I had written a pilot, but I just didn't know. I was really like hesitant because I had really enjoyed working on my own. And I was like, I don't know how this is gonna, you know, go. And actually, to be honest, there was one other job I did before this. And I was like, I worked as a script coordinator, which is like the hardest job in the room. And it's like taking all of the notes, making sure everything everyone says is written down. And I remember being like, there's no way I can do this job because I cannot type. And
oh no, and you have to take all the notes.
Yeah, and he was like, don't worry about it. Like it's gonna be fine. And I was just like, I absolutely drowned, like to the point that it was like, it was so bad. But like that was my first experience of a writing room. So and like it was on me. Like everyone was quite nice to me, considering they were like always like, did you get that? And I'm like, no. but yeah, so I was like, oh my God, how is this going to go? And it was like such a funny group of people. So seeing that and then going into Kim's, I was like, my God, like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to be someone who can like yell out jokes. Cause it's like, it's so much more than that. But there is, for me anyways, there was certainly like an amount of time that had to happen before I could like even be comfortable enough to like offer an idea. Like,
that's scary. What if you
terrifying.
offer it and they're like, no, let's keep going.
Yeah, and they will.
Right. And you're it's so hard. Like in this, it's like, we don't know each other. I'm an actor and I also write my own projects. And like in that, it's like, there is this feeling like I'm only, as a writer, for example, I'm only as funny as like the suggestion I just made, or I'm only as good as an actor of like the self-tape I just, like, there's nothing else to go off of. So if I offer an idea in this room and everyone shuts it down, I would so quickly be, and not shuts it down, they're like, great idea, but not, you're brilliant and wonderful and a great human, but not quite right for this project. And what I hear is, you shouldn't have this job and you should probably go home. Yeah. And how do you like just resilient bounce back and be like, cool, my next idea might hit or it might not. How do you do that?
It's truly like, it's so different for everyone. I have like amazing, I know people who are really not as like bogged down by that stress. Like I was so stressed. I was so scared. I felt exactly the same way, where I was just like, this is the only thing, like if I'm going to say one thing today, it better be incredible. And if it's not, I need to never come back. Like,
I need to quit. Yeah.
And like you're junior, like I was so, I mean, I don't think I was like, I think I was a good enough contributor to the room, but like, you're still coming from a place where you're like, why don't they go to the circus? And they're like, yeah, we don't have the budget for that. Like, it's just like that kind of thing. Like that's such a learning curve. It was like, or, suggesting like in my first week, I was like, escape room episode. They're like, oh, another junior writer suggesting an escape room.
Can I tell you how many times I've pitched escape room to a sketch or like
100%?
But it's, I mean, there's a reason. Let's do more of them, people. But I mean, it's terrible. Yeah. Or that's such a great point too. I didn't even think of like, maybe they go to the circus. Yeah. And they're like, we're going to need to keep it in one location. You're like, got it. Right. I feel like an idiot. Okay, great. Like, how are you supposed to know though?
And that's it. Like, you really can't know. So like, you have to like, wait all day to like pitch your one great circus idea and it to be met with complete silence before one person is like, yeah, we can't go to the circus. Okay, next. Like,
and you're like sitting there like, God damn it, I'm such an idiot.
Like,
why did I say all I had? I've been working on that for 8 hours. Yeah, that circus idea.
But it's like, it took a long time for me to like settle in that room, I think. Like, and I think I was very lucky that, I mean, again, it was like a very kind and like, welcoming room. So like, a lot of the anxiety I was building up in my own head, which is like, I think what we all do, but like, like I mean, I'm not being dramatic when I say like, I wouldn't sleep Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday night. By the time Wednesday came, I was like, well, the week's almost over. So you're going to make it. like
you're allowed to sleep now.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
My
now
God.
It's like, and like sometimes too, like that exhaustion. I mean, I was actively trying to sleep, but sometimes the exhaustion helped because you were just like, I've got nothing. So maybe this. And they were like, wow, finally a thought from you.
You're like, well, my anxiety is so exhausting.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the fuel to keep going.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're welcome.
You kind of need that. Yeah. Seriously. It reminds me of what you said earlier about like wishing that you knew less about structure almost. There's this like thing that I'm very interested in lately of like when you are earlier in your career, there's this like lack of knowledge, lack of experience. So this like naivete. And so I feel like it's easier to be brave and to just go because you kind of don't realize what's at stake.
Yeah.
And so the more you know, I feel like the harder it is then to just like pitch the idea and whatever. And I'm hoping it's like a bell curve. Like I hope it like comes out the other end.
Yeah.
Of being like, oh yeah, now I definitely don't attach my identity to like one idea as much anymore.
Yeah.
But then if I have an idea I really love,
Yeah.
I'm like right back there again.
Right back there.
Right back
Doesn't
there.
take long.
Nope. Just takes a moment and then right back.
Yeah, I think like, I mean, it's true. Like, I think the big thing too for me was like going into a room where you're like, even if, you know, like when you're making your own stuff, if it bombs, it's your own and you're like, well, okay. Like, it's kind of like, I always think the worst thing is like pairs sports where you're just like, if you fall and your friend doesn't, it's on you. Like, so it's just like, it's just like, I feel like that pressure of like, if you sort of are sinking a ship that everyone else was floating on, like, God, it's just, anyways, again, this is mostly in my brain, but like, it's just like, it's no longer just about you and your own failures. It's like, you just don't want to let down the team. And I think like that, and I will say, you know, having worked in it for a bit now, like, I definitely have more of an ability to like throw things at the wall and be like, no, we didn't like that. You know, like I think that's, but that's like, so for me anyways, like in my process, like that will never, I don't think I'll ever be a person who that is not part of the experience. Like, I think I'm always with new experiences, like with new rooms or new people, I'm always going to have like a phase where I'm a little hesitant and then I can settle in, but hopefully that phase is getting shorter. But yeah,
I think that's like a great, finding like the ways that the Clara version, or like me finding the Amanda version of being in a writer's room. It's so easy, at least for me, like I'll look to other people and be like, oh, okay, so that's how I should be, or that's how it is. And then after a while, it's like, oh no, what's my version of that? And you settle into that. And you're right, like that acclimation moment hopefully is just gets shorter and shorter going forward. Yeah. Well, and now like you are the one being like, no, we don't have the budget for the circus, kind of in a way too. For The Office Movers, you are showrunner, executive producer. You write some of the episodes. You've directed an episode. I guess I want to first start out because I think there's a lot of mystery around this role and this term. Yeah. What is a showrunner, and what do showrunners do?
A showrunner is like is the captain of the ship, I would say. Yeah. Or is like the person just making sure we stay on course. Like, so, and that's from the beginning all the way through to the end. So like, I think it's like, you know, it's assembling the team, it's laying out like what the work is going to be, trying to meet all the deadlines of when the work has to be submitted to the next people who need the drafts or whatever. And then like, you know, with Office Movers, it's a little bit different because it's like, I feel like I have a grasp on, you know, what the tone of the show is, what the voice of the show is. It's not my voice, but I like, you know, I'm always working with Jay and Trey to make sure we're staying on course of like what, you know, what the show is, what they want to say. I'm very lucky that they are extremely clear on that stuff. So I'm never like guessing, like I'm guessing when I'm pitching things at times because I'm like, is this what you like?
Right. You know the budget now, but the circus, you're like, it's not about if we can go to the circus. It's like, do you like the circus?
Do you like the circus?
Do you like the circus?
Like, no.
We told you we hate the circus.
Yeah. So it's a bit of work just making sure. But I think like that's like a common thing for writers like these days. I mean, these days, I don't know. Like I feel like this sort of like pattern of being paired with creators or someone who may be more junior but has like this incredible idea, script, like show that's being developed. It's like you sort of have to be, you are leading, but you are also making sure that you're leading the correct way. Like, you know, you're not just leading from being like, oh, I took from the pilot this, and so now this is the show I want to make. Like, you got to be like aware of this is not, like it's a team effort. But then I think for me with Office Movers, like when we get to production, when we get to set, like because the creators, like, you know, who know it so well, they're actors, like they're the leads. For me, I think like my main focus as a showrunner is just making sure we're getting the story told because, you know, like I think with actors who are they're so funny and they're so quick and they're so good with improv, it's like very easy to you know, do exactly what I was talking about, where you're just suddenly like the scene goes a bit off the rails because now we're talking about this like funny bit. And so it's just making sure like we never want to lose the funny bit, but we also need to get to the end of the scene to get to the next scene. So like, so it's like, it's just, I think, you know, that's like a very basic way of putting it. And like, for the most part, it's like just making sure like the jokes that we've written are getting hit in the way that, you know, we intended. And like, if it's not clear in the script, like that we wanted, you know, the angle on a car in this moment, like it's like just making sure that stuff happens, because you're supposed to be sort of like the mind and the like eyes on all of that. And then taking it all the way through like post-production. Again, it's like really show dependent, but like with Office Movers it's a bit of a hybrid situation where like you know, Jay and Trey are very involved in the edit in like such a huge way. Like so much of their content, you know, is so like it's so much about the edit, and so like they bring so much of like their like secret sauce or whatever. I feel like that's what Belle calls it. Like like you know, they bring so much of their voice in the way it's cut. So like I think like they are such a huge part of like the post-production process. And then it's like, you know, we have like our producing team who's also like very savvy when it comes to just like the edit process and just like making sure it's like all the humor is being like executed to its like highest level. And also, you know, making sure I mean, we run into episodes being too long all the time. So like making sure we still have like the best parts, but making sure it like lands in a space that is still half hour.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like that's like my experience as a showrunner with this. I think like, you know, again, it really can depend on the show and it can depend on the project. Like I think what I've said about Office Movers before is like it's such an amazing show to work on for so many reasons, but like the experience of it is so helpful to me because like it's not like my baby or whatever. So I'm able to be like a bit more removed from the emotional part of like fighting for things that like in your head it was always going to be like a pink swing, and like now it's not a pink swing and the whole like your whole childhood is ruined, like or whatever. Like so it's like for me with this show, it's like I cared a lot about the things that are important to the show, but I can be more sort of like neutral, like, or like level-headed about it. Not that I would be insane if it was my own show, but like...
no, that actually makes so much sense. And I was, you know, initially when I was thinking about like you being the showrunner, but then Jay and Trey being the creators, well, and then also having like a director in the mix, like I was like, oh, how does everybody balance like whose creative vision gets to have a space in here? Obviously the creators, their vision needs to be there, but do you and Sebastian, the director, get to also have spaces in there? And hearing you say like, oh, actually it's nice to have the experience of being a showrunner who is not the creator also is wonderful, because it gets to just be a pink swing. I'm like, oh that's such a lovely experience of again, because it like you said, your whole childhood is ruined. It's like hard to make the decision whether the pink swing should be a pink swing.
When that much is riding on it, you're just like, okay, like you need to step back a little bit and be like able to compromise, able to hear other people when they say like, you know, we can't do this, but we can do this, and like see a version of it that still works and like not, you know. And I think that's also like my experience working on, I mean, they are my own projects, but working on shorts, it's like you're really like you know, beholden to like budget and location, and like it's like you have to make the most of what you're given. And I never want to be like a creator who's like, I won't come to set if I don't have
a pink swing.
the fucking pink swing, because but like like I feel like it's such a good, like, you know, it's just an important quality to have, to be able to like go, you know, collaborate and go with the flow and adapt. And I think it's far easier for me to do that and on a show where it's like I'm not telling my own story and feel that I'm being robbed of it or whatever. Like
and they're so I feel like too, if I was a creator of a show, like if I was them, how lucky are they to have you and them not be also showrunner? Like to have somebody who is able to have those kind of like few steps of removal from the story. Yeah. What is it like now being an actor yourself too? What's it like being on the other side of the casting process?
Oh, really cool. Like I love, I mean, it's it's bleak also, but like it's
bleak on both sides.
Like it's just bleak in that like, you know, I'll be honest, like I start out the process being like, yeah, I'm going to watch 30 tapes from beginning to end, no problem. And then it's like 7 tapes in, I'm like, oh my God, like this is going to take forever. Like, and so, you know, there's so much like, again, like it's so amazing to like see like what actors do and the amount like they, you know, and also like, there's obviously like a huge range of what we're seeing from what's being submitted or whatever, but we have like great casting people who send us like obviously the best of the bunch. And like, yeah, it's like it's a really interesting experience to like see it from this side and also to like see the difference in what people like. Like I swear, I think I'm so clear on what I like and who I like or what, you know, what I thought was funny. And then I've like, I can't even count the amount of times I've been in this situation where I'm like, guys, you got to check this person out. And I play it and I'm like, I want to die the whole time. Like they're not laughing. Suddenly I'm seeing how unfunny it is. And I'm just like, oh my God, like what is wrong with it? Like, you know, so
like,
it's just
this
like
is
this,
like the circus joke again. Like,
yeah. It's really there. Like, it's like really like revealing of like what, I don't know, works for you, what doesn't. And I mean, it's been the other way around too, where like, you know, people have loved someone and I'm just like, I don't get it, but like, you know, and I will say like, you know, the casting on Office Movers has been such a fascinating, like, you know, mix up of different like people contributing to it because like the guys are really like Jay and Trey are both really like tapped into like the online scene, you know, like TikTok artists and like comedians and, you know, people they know and like, so they have been able to find talent that like you just never would have found. Like they're just, they're not even actors necessarily, you know, like they act in their TikToks or they act in their skits or whatever, but they're not represented by agents. They're not like coming out to audition. So it's like that part has been really wild to like just, you know, find people. Like they found this guy who's based in Trinidad and they were just like, we've got to have him. And I like when we first saw his video, like his videos, like his own stuff, I was just like, what? Like, how would we even begin to like bring this guy over? Like he's so, and he came and he was like truly incredible. Like just like so funny. So also like talk about someone who like didn't need like a ramp to like get comfortable. Like he just was immediately so like down, like so good to play. Like he was so funny. So like, and you're just like, that part of it has been really cool. Just, you know, as a person working in Canadian television, like to just see like really diverse talent, like, and like legitimate diversity, you know, like where you're just like, oh, this doesn't feel forced in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's like a great point of like finding talent that maybe are like, they have all the acting chops and they just don't exist in the traditional like casting pathways that we have right now. Yeah, like they're not represented or whatever, but they're acting like full time on their own channel and producing content. And it's like they have all the things that you need. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. How do you enjoy being like in such a leadership position? Do you enjoy it? Do you find that it's coming naturally for you? Or are you like...
Yeah, I do enjoy it. I do think like it's like in some ways I feel it's like a natural place to sit for me, but I also like that was like a lot of like it took a lot of convincing, you know, like it took a lot of like, you know, a lot of therapy, a lot of self-talk, a lot of like, you know, a lot of not sleeping again, like just like like I don't think I would necessarily be like, oh, I identify as a leader or a showrunner type, like, but I certainly feel when I'm doing it that like it feels right and it feels like I have a grasp on like elements of it that I think are really important. Like creating a room and a space where people are like invested and creatively like fulfilled and like excited about the work and like and feel like I mean feel hopefully safe to contribute and like and just like I don't want to like be like it just has to be fun, but like I do think there is something about like this work that is really quite fun and quite like joyful. So like I think that when I can bring that to a room and and sometimes I bring that I will say sometimes I bring that to a room by being like very like I complain about everything. Like I can be very negative and I think that is like but I do it in a way that is like funny, I guess, like in a way that like people feel at least we're acknowledging that there are really annoying things going on, or we like, are hitting a wall with something, but it's not because we're not trying or whatever. But like, there is like, I feel like an honesty about the process and about like what is really like difficult and frustrating and like, demeaning about like the work. I definitely like want that out on the table and like voiced. I don't like to be like, well, everyone's having a great time and like no notes. Like it's just like I like it to be like we can be open and honest. I also really, really, really like the idea of not being in a leadership role. Like I've been working on something recently with my really good friend Joyce, and like she and her writing partner are like leading it, and I'm just there contributing, and I'm just like so happy, because it's like, I love to just like be part of it and be kind of like, but not have the like weight of
the
like
whole ship,
the whole show.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I like both.
I was gonna say like it's cool that you get to do both. Like during the season, like while you're working on the season, you get to of Office Movers, you get to steer the ship, and then in between seasons, you can be like, you know what, someone else be the captain. I'm ready to. I think that's awesome. That's like the dream of it.
And I think too, like I will say, like on the flip side of like what I said about the Office Movers and like how it's like, it's sort of a different experience as creators and a showrunner, like working together. Like I do really look forward to a point where I am like, I think like I would really love to like lead my own show. Like, and I think that sort of leadership when you don't have to be like, I think this, but do you think this? Like, like it's like, I think I really do feel like, as I've gotten older and like done this more, like I feel more and more like I can really be like clear about what I like, what I don't like, what I want. Like, so, putting that towards my own work and my own like series that I'm developing, like I feel like that is like where I'll really feel in the pocket as a showrunner. Like,
yeah, totally. And for that, like when you envision that, do you also envision yourself being like the actor star in it as well?
No. Like it's not 100% no, but like I don't, that's not like what I'm seeing. Like I really would love to just be like the creator behind like, and like, work with the best, I have so many friends who are actors who are just like the most incredible actors. Like just the idea of like getting to like cast everyone I want to cast and have like the directors like who I love working with, like just all of that. And being sort of the like, again, like the like person overseeing all of that, I think that is like what I really crave. I would love to do like a bit part. In something like that. Like a walk on nothing, like funny line, whatever. Like that's I would love to do that. But I don't envision for myself being like I don't envision myself as a Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Right. Like, I wish.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, we're not going to close the door, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll be able to. Yeah, but no, I mean, I guess that was always like the dream for. Well, I was looking to like Alina Dunham, even though I mean she was not showrunner initially, but like or Mindy Kaling, like just thinking, being able to tell my own story and be in it and get to run the show. But ideally, I think like Alina Dunham with like having another showrunner that you're like paired with, I think, it sounds, I mean, really, you're getting to tell your story in as much of the way that you want to as is like financially possible and blah, blah, logistically and stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah.
When you've like made, because you've made your own projects, obviously, and then also worked on other people's projects, in your experience, like what's the biggest barriers to getting projects made in Canada? And what are the biggest like barriers in getting those projects actually seen by audiences?
Getting them made is like, I mean, it's like, I think the money thing is the biggest issue. Like, especially if like, cause I mean, there's always people who you're like, you look to and you're like, wow, I can't believe I didn't know how to make a whole short in my apartment and it'd be amazing. Like, what the fuck have I been doing with this stupid apartment? Like, but it's like, I think like it's tough to, if you're not that kind of filmmaker, it's tough to like fit yourself into being that kind of filmmaker. And then, if you are like, you need sort of a traditional set and like the amount of days you need, like, it's just expensive. And it's like, I think we're very lucky in a lot of ways to have the opportunities with telefilm and government funding and all of that. Like, I wouldn't know because I've never gotten it. But I think like that, that stuff is like, obviously like, they don't have that in the States. Like there's something really incredible about, that being something that's available to people, but it's also a waiting game. And then there's so much like submitting grants and applications and like, for a lot of creatives, I'll just, for myself, it's like, you have a thing, you just kind of want to make it. Like, I'm a bit impatient. So like, I think a big hurdle too is like being patient, believing that it'll happen, even if it's not, like taking the time that it needs to like, either like find the right people to get behind it or whatever, like that kind of thing. And then getting them seen, it's so tough. Like I, on the short film front, like it's like even films that go to TIFF, like it's such an incredible opportunity and like, again, would love to go to TIFF. But it's still sort of like this big moment. And then it's kind of like for a lot of films, like that's it. I mean, and that's not to say like, I really don't take any, like, that's not a negative thing. It's just like, it is just genuinely so hard to get things to like have the sort of like viewership that you would love them to have, like have the kind of like, like getting eyes on it and then having people be like, oh, like share it with other people. And like, then you're, working with new collaborators and new people want to give you money and all of that stuff. Like, that would be ideal, but it's just so rare. Like, and it also feels like I feel sort of like there's this like with some of the like gatekeepers or whatever, maybe that's a negative term, but like people who like have the money to give, like there's this thing of like they don't want to take a chance on people until like those people have like really proven themselves, but you're like, that's not taking a chance anymore. Like that person's good, they're gone. Like it's like take a chance on a new person. They live in LA now. Like, so it's like, I don't know, there's a bit, I feel like that's sort of a tricky thing too, where you're like trying to get people to like I don't know, I have not worked really in the American system at all, so like I don't know how it all shakes out, but it's like it feels like there's more of a confidence in like taking chances on people, on like new voices, on filmmakers who are making their first feature, like there's more of an emphasis on like creators and people who like have a voice, as opposed to being like, well, this person's made a feature before and they check a few boxes, so it's like, okay, great, oh, there's features the same as the last one, good.
Cool. It feels almost like, and again, like I have such limited experience in this, but from talking to people and just my own, I feel like here it feels so much more like people don't want to be the like quote unquote reason to look to if like something fails, whatever that means. Like, oh, I guess it wasn't so good and maybe I made the wrong decision putting our money behind that person. But in the States, it feels like I want to be able to claim like I found that person. Like they almost want to be able to brag about it, and they're willing to take risks to find the braggable moment.
Totally.
And I don't feel, here I almost feel like I'm deemed too risky to invest in until I don't need your investment anymore.
Totally.
And I feel that like in so many different pockets and areas of the industry that, it's tricky. Like you need people to just take, it's funny, like take a risk on you. And I'm like, I guess, but is it a risk or is it just like, that's what the job is? Like, that's what we're doing. Like,
and like, it's just weird. Like when it's like, yes, there's like this way of speaking about it where you're like, you're taking a risk, but it's like, I just wish there was like, I don't know. I mean, look, I'm not saying that like everyone has to read something from me and like it. Like that's like, if they don't like it, that's enough for me to be like, oh, there's the door. I will take it. But like, but it's like, I just think there's like, I'm like, aren't people able to read and be like, oh, this is exciting and know that as opposed to being like, like it just feels like there's a lot of like hesitating around like, something that I think should be sort of clear, like, and again, taste wise, like, I don't know, like you can be clear on something that I don't necessarily like, but at least you're clear on it and being like, oh, I fucking love this and I'm getting behind it. It just always feels like, does anyone really like anything like that much?
Does anyone know if they like anything?
We're just like okay with it. Like, I don't know.
Like, And most of the no's that I've gotten have been like, if I'm submitting things or trying to go through like funding channels, I find too, like I'm getting a lot of like, oh yeah, we love the story. We love the world. We love the script. We just don't have the budget for it. Or like, our budget just got slashed. And they could be just trying to make me feel better. I get that. I'm also going to like stand up a little bit and be like, no, there's also specifics in what they said they liked and like the ways that they talked about things that I'm like, oh, you like this project, but it just feels like it's not just them who has to like it. They have to feel sure that everyone, whoever everyone is, will like it enough to say, yeah, you did a good job in funding that. And I'm like, I don't know how much we're going to ever get that. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So
that's it. Like, I just don't, I mean, again, like I can't say this enough. Like I don't do their jobs and I know there's like a ton of pressure on them, like to pick the right thing for the market. And, you know, like, especially as far as TV goes, like there's like the algorithms and what, you know, like the things they're being told will sell, won't sell. Like I can't begin to like understand, like take that on. Like, I don't know those pressures, but like sometimes it feels like, oh, I wish there was like more room, I guess, within that. Like,
totally. Cause there's also, talking about pressure, it feels like there's only like a handful of them. Like that's a pressure in itself to be like, I'm responsible for 20% of all the, you know, so all of that. Oh God. I do want to go back to a couple jokes that you made, which I'm just like, oh, that's so funny, where you're like, I don't know. Again, I haven't got into TIFF or like, you know, those kind of things. And again, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm not going to be able to quote because I don't have it in front of me, but your bio again, where you said something about like, Clara has made a lot of short films and none of them got into Sundance or something. That's like again, I was like, God, I'm like, wow, I can tell that I would love your script just by your fucking writing of your bio. It's like so my kind of humor, but of course I am assuming, of course you meant that as a joke, but I am curious, like, is there much weight in like festivals or like award shows or things for you? Because I find it hard to not look for external validation in this kind of stuff of like, I'm a writer and an actor, but I haven't booked anything and my script isn't anywhere. Like if that's how you feel, or if like that's the reality, then it's like, I don't know. If you're an actor in the woods and the trees fall, whatever, does it matter? Like that whole thing. So do you put much weight in those kind of things?
I'm working on it, but I like it's an ongoing battle. Like I care so much. Like you know, I think like it's like I can say, you know, with my experience with shorts, like there's so many factors, but like I do think it goes back to also I'm impatient, and sometimes I will make things without, I know people who take years to make their shorts because they are like, it has to be exactly this. Like, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I just want to make this thing. And like, and then I'm sad it doesn't get into Sundance. It's like, well, you kind of, like maybe there's some of that like could be like, I could hone my craft a bit more or whatever. But like, there's truth to that. Like, I just am like, oh, like there's truth to the fact that like, I think a lot about those things. I feel that those things would make a huge difference in my life. But then I also can get, the honest truth is I know that Sundance isn't gonna change my life, isn't gonna save my life, isn't gonna make me feel better about myself for more than a weekend. And like, it's not the answer in any way, but like, like every year when the TIFF announcements come out, I leave Instagram. I'm like, well, I can't be around for this.
Honestly, I cannot relate. I mean, they're different things, but yeah, I'm like, every time this list comes out or this list, I'm like, literally, I will tell my partner, I'm like, heads up, this is around the time of year when like whatever the CFC Actors Conservatory thing comes out, or hey, this is when you might find out about a contract with Second City. Heads up. Might be a little of a fucking sad little muffin that week.
You might not see me for a while.
I might be under the covers for a while. Yeah, it's so real. And we can say like, oh, it doesn't matter and it doesn't whatever. And also those things do make differences in things, like the ripple effects of those things. You're right. It's not like that's not going to change your life.
No.
And actually, even if they have zero ripple effect and they won't do anything, I'm like, well, try and tell my today self that. Try and convince her. I dare you to convince her.
Yeah.
Like, you won't. There's no way.
That's it. Like, and I really like, I mean, like I would love like those dopamine hits, like those, like of like just being like, oh, like an outside source says I'm worth something. Well, I guess it's true. And then it's like a week 100%. Later, I'm just like, oh, I'm back. And that's
any
done.
other
And
sources?
it's like, I definitely don't like, I certainly like with something like film festivals or whatever, like I mean it more like I know it's not going to fix my life from like a mental health standpoint. It might fix my life and my career. I don't know. Like it might, like those things. I'm not saying those things don't happen, that you don't go to a film festival and, Barry Jenkins sees your short and you're off to the fucking races. But I feel like the idea that like, if I were to just, get into TIFF or like whatever, like go to the Sundance Lab, like I would be happy forever. That's not that I know is not true. But as you said today, I feel that is true, and I need
100%. it. Yeah. I think the little monster in my head who is saying that will fix everything. Once I get into TIFF or whatever it is, that little monster will find something else. Like that's the truth. Is that she'll be like, okay, well now you have to do this, and then you're good enough, and you're like, oh my god, take a nap, like chill, take a nap,
take a nap.
Take a nap. We all need a nap. Please go into hibernation forever.
To bed.
When you are like stuck in those like moments of, I don't want to like name them for you. So if this feels not right, let me know. But like when you're stuck in those moments of feeling like discouraged or like hardcore comparison, like you had said earlier, like people just, oh, look, this person got into TIFF and Sundance and this person booked blah, blah, blah. And you're just feeling real shit, like that monster is right in your head. What are the things that you do to help remind yourself like, yeah, you are fucking badass. Like you are a person I've looked at online and then my monster went into comparison of like, why don't you just make look at her fucking filmography. Now she's a showrunner. Oh my God. She's like, there are times when I've been on your Instagram and then is this weird? And then I felt like shit about myself.
I'm so sorry.
No. How do you like remind yourself like, you're doing the thing, like you're doing it?
Yeah. I think I'm surrounded by a lot of like very good and smart and like level-headed people who are able to like handle my like extreme negativity, extreme self-doubt, like just moping around, like, and they put up with it, and like they're very and they do have like convincing arguments, like where they're just like you're doing things, like you're not doing things. But I think too, like it's like the best thing I can do is like try to just like remember, you know, how good my life is, like, and just be like, you have so many things that are so like privileged, and like so you get to like work on like comedies and like work with people you like, and like, you know, there's just so I try to like take stock of like the things that are like undeniably like good and that I've like created and that I've like had the help to create as well. Like, and like, yeah, I think that's like, and I also, I mean, just like in terms of a very basic thing, I like will exercise. Like I will run and, you know, go to a Barry's class and like cry in the mirror. Like that's, you can find me there most days. Like that's like a very like pure, like, getting out of my like physical despair is like that's like a, you know, that's something that I do, and I find it very, very helpful. But yeah, like I think I'm really working on it. Like I'm not like proud of where I'm at this age to still be like, you know, still be having those like comparison things and like feeling like so insecure. Like it's like, shut up. You're so old. Shut up. But it's a reality, and like you have to deal with the things that you're dealing with. And yeah, I just try to like remember, you know, how good things are compared to other fucking losers. No,
that's the true answer. Find someone. No. Yeah,
I find friends who I don't like. Yeah,
find friends that I hate. And I'm like, at least I'm not them. No, I mean, exercise, community, and gratitude. Yeah, like there's a reason why when I'm, especially in the winter, when I'm feeling depresso, there's a reason why those things. All my loved ones are like, hey, movement. Community.
You gotta get out there. Yeah.
Get out there. Start feeling gratitude for something. Absolutely. No, they all work. I always just think about like my comparison, or when I'm like, feeling self-doubt, I'm like, I want that time back. Like it's the time. What? Totally. How much could I do if I took that time and did also nothing? I would be so rested. Like,
just that. Yeah. Sleep.
Just that. If I just slept. If I took all that time and slept, I would love it.
Read a book.
If I read a frickin' book, I am in reading my book era. I got a Kobo for Christmas and I am reading. Let me tell you. Yeah. And it did not come out of for myself. I'm definitely like I'm externally motivated or whatever.
Yeah.
My partner's a very light sleeper. And when I would read an actual book, I would flip the page and it would like wake them up. So I had to go. And I was watching on my iPad every night, like watching TV. Yeah. And I just couldn't get a good sleep. So I had to move to reading. I mean, that's the real thing. I'm not saying why I'm moving to a Kobo. I'm saying why I moved to reading. And that's why. Because sleep, my eyes hurt and I had a headache and my entire body was puffy every morning.
Yeah.
From my
That's what I need. Oh my God, the puff. Oh my God.
The puff.
Can't
I'm like,
even.
I'm doing this puff to myself. This is self-puff. Enough with the self-puff. Enough.
Yeah.
I deserve less puff. Okay, well, this has been such a joy chatting with you today. I have to tell you,
so
like,
nice.
I was so excited chatting with you. This is actually like the final episode of this season, and I was so excited that it worked out that it was going to be you, because you've been someone I've wanted to connect with for quite some time. So
my God.
So talk about gratitude and community.
Gratitude. No, same. I'm so happy to do this.
So nice. The last thing I want to ask you, the way I close out these episodes, is I just want to ask you about who is a Canadian artist or a piece of Canadian media that you're loving right now.
I mean, heated rivalry.
Oh,
can we guess? Good. No, I mean, yeah, I'm obsessed. I just love it. I'm so like in awe of that team. I like when I hear Jacob talk about the way he shot that scene and that ending scene in episode 5, like I'm just so inspired by like him just fucking knowing his shit. Like, of course he does, but it's just like so amazing to hear someone talk from such a clear place of like what they wanted and how they were going to get it, and to just like see it like literally like reach the world. Like it's just wild. Like it's like it's so deeply inspiring. And like I just think the world of him and that team and Brendan and honestly Crave, like I just like gotta give it to them. I'm like so pleased to see people taking those chances and like putting and like even casting people who didn't have like big resumes, big followings. Like it's just really 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 like it gives me hope in a way that like is not normal for like it to be a TV show. Like I'm just like, do I like literally like my Christmas was saved by that show.
Like, that's when I watched it as well, and I felt the exact same way. I would like after being with people all day, I would like crawl into my bed and just watch myself, and I'm like, I just saved my entire day right here. Yeah. They just did it.
I saved my day. Yeah.
I saved my day.
Something to live for. Truly.
Yeah. It was something that was so striking to me about the show. And this was like episode 1, like in, was that it was filmed in a way, like, of course, so steamy, sexy, obviously. Yeah. But the love was like the chemistry was shot as a romance. And it didn't feel like, I just feel like often when I'm watching queer stories that are reaching that level of eyes on it, it's gotten because it's been like, how am I saying this? Like, it's not told through the right lens. This was told through a lens of like respect for the story and the people. And like, yes, of course, also they're going to be like fucking sexy fuck scenes. Great. But all of it was treated with such care and respect of like a romance that I'm like, I was sobbing at moments that were not sad. I was just like, this is so beautiful that they were telling this story in the way that we're telling it. Yeah. Like,
letting it breathe. Dream. Yeah, like totally. It's like, it's really special. And I just like am so like thrilled with the success of it. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I saw a post that said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like, this is like the blueprint of like, quote unquote, like, oh, this is taking the risk on like the niche thing.
Yeah.
Of like, see, this is the example. This is the blueprint, what we've been talking about too, of like, oh, it's too risky. It's too niche. This is like poster child for that kind of project. If you see it just on your desk in the traditional way, it would have completely been turned, especially if they would have been like, oh, we're going to cast this person who like, oh, this lead who's never carried a show before. And oh my God, icons. Like
literal, like I've never seen two people more ready to be stars. It's unbelievable.
I'm
like,
obsessed. It's my whole algorithm now.
Me too.
And I'm so happy. And I'm like, and every time I'm like, yeah, keep going. Like I'm like talking to my phone, like, this is all I want. This is all that it's incredible. Yeah. I'm so happy for that team. And I hope it just like more and more. Yeah. Talking about reading, that is a book that I am now, like I'm sure everybody else.
Yeah, I might read that.
On hold at the library.
I might get back to reading for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And do it now because I put it on hold and I got to wait 8 weeks at the library.
Holy jeez. Yeah,
and that made me also so happy though.
Yeah.
It's like yay.
So great.
That was great. Oh, great shout out. Great one. Love it. Love it. Might go watch it again every Christmas. Christmas. Well, thank you again so much for doing this today and for bringing some nostalgic root beer cream soda vibes.
Pleasure.
And right before we log off, I just have to tell you, because I've thought it at least like 17 times during this, you have the curtain bangs that I dream I could ever have. Like you are killing this curtain bang game right now.
Holy shit. Wow. This is going to make me feel good for a day at least.
Oh, okay, great. At least a day for that monster. Let me know. Check in after the day. I'll find something else genuine.
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like distractingly amazing. I was
like, damn, thank you.
Screenshot, take it to, well, I don't have the hair for curtain bangs, but like I wish I did.
I wish. Do?
I have very straight hair.
Okay.
Like very straight. And so I went to my hairdresser and was like, this is what I want. And she's like, I love you. They will just be sticks beside your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to, do you want side? They're not going to be curtains. And I want curtains. Yeah. And I want, so incredible.
Damn.
Thank you for gifting me that image.
You're welcome.
during this interview.